Hi everyone, it's me, the Broke Stacker. This morning, we are going to make some breakfast potatoes, just some fried up potatoes, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it. You don't need that many ingredients. You just need some potatoes, about 2 to 3 pounds, depending on the quantity you're going for. A red or green bell pepper. I have red because it was cheaper today. Get whatever's cheap. That's what I do. Just a little bit of smoked paprika, ground cumin, cayenne pepper. I'm sorry, and then chili powder, a medium onion, yellow. You can do sweet, you can do white, but I just get the yellows because they're $1.28 for 2 pounds right now. Why not? Black pepper, salt. This is a pink Himalayan. This is what I have, and then a little bit of that minced garlic stuff. Good stuff to have in your kitchen. All right, let's get started on just some basics. You get your frying pan. I like it one where I can put a lid on because you're going to want to be able to steam and fry this at the same time to get that nice even cooking of the potatoes. It's got a little bit of olive oil here, extra virgin, doesn't matter as long as you can cook with it. Don't do too much. You can add a little bit more olive oil to that later. Some people prefer cooking oil. I just do olive oil. That's what I do. All right, now that we've oiled our pan, get yourself a nice sharp knife. What I like to do, let's just say it, look at the basic shape of this potato. This is a good example of what you're going to find out there. So what I like to do, I take them and slice them down the middle, long ways first, right? Go like that, split it out. Cut out any of that black stuff you don't want in there. Personally, I make sure that it's not in there because sometimes you get that with your potatoes. I don't know if you can eat this or not. I just don't. I choose not to. Get those off of there. Now that you got your potato cut in half like that, what you're going to do is give it about 3 slices down the middle. And then just chop. You're cubing these up pretty much. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. You kind of want to go for about the same size each piece. That way everything cooks evenly. And you're gonna even have some bigger ones like this. Again, just cut it down the middle long ways. Put her belly down, the cut side down. Get 3 slices across the top, like so. This way, when you cube it up, it's just that simple. You might have a different way of doing it. Please put that down in the comments for me. I'm always open to new techniques. This is just the one I found works best for me. These are russet potatoes, the brown ones. What is it, about $2-3 for a 5-pound bag right now? Back when I was a kid, that used to be $1 for about a 10-pound bag. So, that's the dollar for you. But it's a good way to have some good cheap food. It's very filling and feed you. And with this amount of food right here, I bet you could feed portion-wise at least 4 people for the breakfast. I'm just ripping right through these, not even thinking about it. Great method of cutting. Again, you want to go for that consistency. This dough about the same size, roughly. That's not a perfect science or whatever. It just is a way, a method that works. And now we're coming to our red bell pepper, or any bell pepper for that matter. What I usually do, because they got the stem in there, so I'll come down about 1/2 inch to 1 inch depending on the size of the pepper. Just get a little slice like that, come all the way around with it, and ta-da, the top comes off. You can just grab those guts and they come right out. Now, I've seen lots of videos on how to cut these. This is just the way I cut these up. One right down the middle. And I'll slice them up into about 1/2 inch to inch long bands, or wide bands, the length of the pepper. This one's a little thick. We'll start off with a 1/2. Then let's get them bunched up, and then again, about the same size you do the potatoes, maybe a little bigger, a little smaller, whatever your preference is. Open. It's art. Cooking can be art. It's open to interpretation, however you want to do it. It's a reflection on how you like things. So don't let anybody tell you how to do it. You do it the way you want to do it. These are just examples on how I do it to help anybody out if they're looking to speed up their game a little bit in the kitchen. Look at that. Chopped up a whole bell pepper already, that fast. I mean, there's probably different ways to do it. If you know a better way, please share in the comments. The yellow, this is a medium yellow onion. I snip the tip, take that outer layer off, like so. I can get it. Of course, this one has to be stubborn. Get it just like that. So what I do for this particular size, this one I could do thirds or halves, cutting it this way. This one we're just going to go easy for demonstration. Go right down the middle. There's going to be a little bit bigger pieces onion, so I got that cut in half. Right, that's from the pepper. Anyways, I'll cut that in half, and I'll just slice it like that. Again, whatever size you feel comfortable with putting in the pan. These are going to caramelize in this pan when we cook the potatoes, so not a big deal. Yeah, that's already done. One more. Really easy. Again, don't cut yourself. Take that up, put it in there. If you don't have a bell pepper, you can substitute with a jalapeno or two. I've done that before. All right, now everything's chopped up and in the pan. Now, spuds need salt, but don't do too much. Whatever you think you need on salt, do about half. You can season to taste later. That's salt, fresh ground pepper, chili powder, just a little bit, just for flavor and just for a little bit of color. Same thing with some cayenne pepper. Just give it a flavor to taste, but don't do too much. And then this one is smoked paprika. I'm almost out. I just used an old paprika container here. Just a little bit of smoked paprika. That's what I do. You can do regular paprika. That's fine too. Minced garlic in there. That's a tablespoon, right? That's about all I ever put in there. About a tablespoon of garlic. You can do more. You can do less. Again, season to flavor. And that is it. All right, now we're on the stove. What I'm going to do here on these to get them going, I go medium high to high. So to get it started, we're going to start it covered. We're seasoned. We have oil, but it's really easy to over oil these and make them kind of like a greasy flavor on the outside afterwards. Go easy on your oil. If it starts burning and catching the bottom of the pan a little too much, just add a little bit of oil. It'll help it where it won't stick to the pan, but it's not going to be too greasy, oily after you're done cooking. All right, we're starting to get that temperature up there just a little bit. Something to keep an eye on it. You want to keep the lid on there as long as you can for about, I'd say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on your temperature, cooktop, how many potatoes you got in there. It's a lot of contributing factors. So yeah, just keep an eye on that. With that on there, you're gonna want the lid on for at least 10 minutes. You can, and we'll pull that off at the end to finish it. Get some of that steam off of there at the end. All right, I haven't opened this at all yet. I'll get it to the point where you see a nice sweat there. It's sizzling. Now you can start to smell it. Now it's time to mix it. So I usually get like a flat pedaled spoon or spatula or whatever, that way you can kind of scrape the bottom a little bit. Works. Don't mind the fan here. We gotta get that out of there. You don't fill the cabinets with the spoon. Just gonna give it a little stir here. It's starting to brown on the bottom a little bit. You don't want it black, you just want it brown on all your potatoes, onions, and peppers in there. So if there's blacking in it, your heat's too high. If you're not browning, you're too low. You just want to brown it. After you get to that point where that initial heat's built up in there, you just want to keep coming back to it. And stirring it about, I don't know, Anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Depends on your heat again. Depends on how much you have in there. This initial stage, when you're actually still cooking the potatoes internally, is paramount because you want to use that steam. So the first 10 minutes, you definitely want to use all that steam you can to cook the interior potatoes. You're not just crispy in the outside, you're doing the inside as well. I've had it where if you don't use a lid, you will have an undercooked potato on the inside and burnt on the outside. That's what you want to avoid. That's why we're using that steam in there. Okay, we're getting close to that 10-minute mark. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 15 minutes. Like I said, there's lots of variables. Take a look how we're doing here. Looking good. See how it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan, but they're not overly greasy? That's how look you're looking for. If they're sticking to the bottom of the pan and burning, your heat's too high, you don't have enough oil, could be one or the other or both. We're getting nice and caramelized on our onions and our peppers. And we're steaming those potatoes really well. In the background this whole time, you saw I was just doing some sausage links. Those are cooked. I pulled them off, threw them in the microwave so they didn't cool off. Wipe the grease out of the pan now. We got a nice hot pan still. We're going to start doing our eggs. Just a little bit of butter that. Get the whole bottom of the pan melted. We're doing these on medium heat, maybe a little bit lower. And then I got some fresh eggs here from the chicken coop today. It came out pretty good. Still got some bedding on there. Just gotta be careful. Alright, now that our butter's nice and done, I save my eggs, shells, and I give them back to the chicken. That's what the bowl's here for. Beautiful looking eggs. This is for just me and the missus today. We're doing 5 scrambled eggs. Break those yolks, scramble them up. Get that butter all incorporated and mixed in there. I use salted butter, that's why I don't add any additional salt. Alright, we're getting close to that point where we need to take our lid off, so let's go ahead and take that off. These are looking really close to being done. See how they're starting to get black? We're going to turn our heat down to medium. We don't want to add too much, any oil if we can at this point, otherwise the potatoes will be kind of slimy. Just keep working it around. And it looks like they're internally cooked, so we're going to leave the top off this now. Let some of that water just come out on its own. These eggs are about done. I don't want to overcook them in the pan, so the pan's still pretty hot. We're going to take it off the heat, put it to the side till our potatoes are done. Okay, these are looking pretty good now. Before we plate them, we're going to season the taste, but I think we're right there. See how these are starting to break just a little bit, like that? They'll break. You don't want them too mushy where they just fall apart. You want them to just maintain their body yet be cooked. I think we're right there, guys. Let's give this a little bit of a taste test on just a random piece here. Bon appetit. Ooh, that's hot. Nailed it. And there you have it, guys. That's the broke breakfast. Piping hot breakfast potatoes, a little bit of sausage, some eggs. Now you might be asking yourself why I'm showing this to you today. So potatoes were all together was like $1, and then after potatoes, the meat, each link's probably about 25 cents, 75 cents, $1, and the eggs came from the chicken coop, so that didn't cost me anything, but that's 3 eggs. That probably cost you another, let's be honest, $3 today. So altogether, this is a $5 breakfast right here, and you're eating like a king. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Until next time, keep stacking, stack 'em high.